I still hear them.
Oh! Hey, get up! It's that time. Off script is coming online.
Welcome to Off Script, a space for honest dialogue, real talk, and biblical clarity. You just never know. This is
Off script.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? I'm Tony Cash, host of Off Script with Tony Cash. And tonight, we're having an honest conversation that many Christian men are experiencing but not always expressing. We live in a world of sexual promiscuity. We live in a world where sex sells. We live in a world where if it's not sexualized, then marketers don't think that it will sell. And we have, I believe, a problem in our country where young men and young ladies are overly sexualized. And so if you think about that and you think about being a Christian in this world, then you can understand why this topic is so important. I think a lot of times in the church we try to run from the idea that it is very difficult to live a chaste life, to live a life for God, and then say, be single and not have sexual, promiscuity. So tonight
Amen.
I have someone I care deeply about, Jordan, and we're going to talk about that tonight. And what is it like for a 35-year-old Christian man to live in a world like today, and then try to be committed to God, try to be what we call in the church holy and righteous,
Amen.
and try not to see the sister that just passed by in the mini skirt that make it hurt. So we're going to talk about that tonight. How you doing, Jordan?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, of course, you know the subject and what we're going to talk about today.
Yes, sir.
As a young man, 35-year-old, what are some of the challenges that you have personally faced in being a Christian, being single as a Christian young man?
I personally, some of the obstacles I've faced being Christian, being single in the dating world is finding other Christians, finding other Christian women who can connect on a deeper level. They not just talk about worship, they do the worship. They have a community in which they are guided and led, and believe it or not, they subject and submit themselves to a pastor. That's a big one.
So here's the thing. Now, sisters, don't hurt me. Don't get upset with me. Growing up, anytime there was any type of sexual relationship between the girl and the boy, whether it be young children, teenagers, everybody always blamed the boy. So you're living in this world today, and you're dealing with being single. You're dealing with introducing yourself, going on dates. Is it still the boy's fault now?
Oh, it's always our fault. Always, ever since the garden.
Mean, with the challenges though, do you feel that, in your experience, that women are more sexual, or is it men in your own experience?
Well, I can tell you from listening to my father that as a man, you set the tone.
Right.
Period.
Right.
So if you set the tone for what the relationship's supposed to look like in the first place, that could always still be a problem, obviously, but it doesn't mean that you can't, with the help of pastor, community, and other like-minded Christians in your circle, y'all can't have a good, perfect, and healthy relationship. That's a lot what is missing from the dating to the wedding, the community of Christians who come together and say, oh, let's do things together as a community.
Absolutely. So, one of the things that a lot of women say today is, there are no good men, Pastor Tony. I went to the supermarket. I was in the canned good aisle. I went down the meat aisle. I stopped where they sell rice. I did all that and did no good man show up. Then I went to church on Sunday. I tried to be modest. I showed a few stuff, but I tried to be, and there were no men. So, looking at this dating pool in this world, are there any good men? And would you say you're a good man?
I would say I'm a good man.
Okay.
And I would say that there are good men. It's just, that's a two-part answer. First off, where exactly are you looking for these good men? Number one. And then number two, are the good men that you are looking for, do you have an expectation of what they're supposed to look like? Other than following Christ, I've experienced that some women might be bored of the type of man who follows Christ.
Okay. All right. So speak more on that. When you say some women might be bored, is it that if a woman is dating Jordan, you're just going to take her home and play bingo all night, and you guys are going to play checkers? What can a woman expect if she's dating a Jordan? Like, are you saying you're boring? Because if that's the case, I can understand why you told me the other day your phone not ringing. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, I can say this, and this is what I say. You're going to have if you are if you're a lady and you consider yourself a wild child and you like to get out there and do things, you'll find that when you're dating men who have submitted themselves to Christ, right? They are in line with their finances. Mm-hmm. They're in Wednesday Bible study. They're in church on Sunday. Saturday, when those events happen with the church family and other community folks, they're involved in those things, helping out. So with work and all that, you'll find that there's just a little bit of space to call each other, get to know each other. There's no all-night bingo night. That ain't gonna happen.
No. We don't need an all-night bingo night, because we don't know what bingo might mean at night. So we don't need an all-night bingo night. But when you think about, being single, this world that, I can't even think of a movie that really sells that they don't interject sex in. Like if they really want that movie to sell, they're going to interject a sex scene, and they're going to play that,
Yes.
look that over and over again. As a single man, going to the internet, talking to your friends, how has the over-sexualization of society affected you, as a single man, trying to keep yourself, trying to do the best you can to live right?
I can tell you plain and simple, it is a trap. It is the over-sexualization of men and women. So don't be fooled by it. Women are not the only ones sexualizing themselves. Men are sexualizing themselves too. Tighter fitting clothes, chest all out, as much paraphernalia to attract other women as they can. Nice cars, nice clothes. They're not doing this for their own amusement. They're doing it to attract. So they just do it differently. Mm-hmm. But as far as the sexualization, I can tell you from experience, it is a trap.
How does social media sites such as Facebook, TikTok, Instagram play a role in that? And here's why I'm asking. I've seen in my own past, as I'm on one of the social media sites, if you just maybe look at one young lady and she might be talking about her career, and then they start feeding you more things on females until they get to a point to where you're like, well, how did all of a sudden we get to females who are scandalously dressed? And so I know that it's being fed to, especially young men. What is that like to be under that type of barrage when you have pop on your, I don't know if you've ever seen on your YouTube page, once they realize you like sports, they actually start putting scantily dressed women up in the same section where the sports are.
Yes.
So how, if you can just kind of share a little bit, how has that temptation of them pushing that hypersexualization on you, how does that impact you?
Okay.
What have you personally experienced, if you don't mind sharing?
So with social media, they have a good strategy to get young men and women mixed up. Instagram is notorious for not only just sending reels to people, they're notorious for getting people together for what they call dating experiences, and I guess they're sharing each other's messages, and you can set yourself up for dating. Facebook is another one where the algorithm starts. And I don't mean to name drop people, but we got a certain person cooking with kayaks.
Okay.
Who you watch one stream, and all of a sudden, now what you were talking about, they'll
Cooking
send
with who?
cooking with kayaks. We'll say we're not gonna name drop her, but
Now, is she cooking?
She cooks
Okay.
food.
Okay, she's cooking.
But what she does is she does it so in a provocative way that it basically continues to reel onto your page. As soon as you watch it, you can watch 3 seconds of it and you'll be like, oh yeah, that food looks good. And the food does look good.
But so does Kaya.
Yeah.
Okay, how many times he looped on you? see, that's the real question. How many audience, we need to ask him, okay, because you notice that he realized that it keeps looping, and I figured the reason it keep looping because you keep looking.
Yep.
How about that? Because things loop when you what? Look. Okay, thank y'all.
Yes.
So is that why it keep looping?
Absolutely.
She must be, okay.
Guilty as
it's
charged.
Man to man, she must be fine.
Guilty. I am
fine.
guilty. Yes.
She's cute.
Yes.
Okay, and so that's what we're talking about. So if you think about that, what happens because all they're doing is leading you.
Yes.
See, that's one video they're leading you, and then next thing you know, they give you another scantily dressed woman or man. I don't want to just say, but for you, a woman. So what do you think about young men today? And do you think that's trying to lead them to this idea of pornography and over-sexualization? And what do you think the struggle is for young men today in that area? Do you have friends, and have you all really just had that conversation before?
Yes, I can say this. It's wolf in sheep's clothing. That's exactly what it is. It's the culture has somehow decided that young men and women need to wait longer and longer till 30 or 40 to get married and to start a family and to have a healthy sexual relationship while two are one. But the culture dictates now that we need to keep it in our pants until we're 30, 40, get our education, and then choose to engage in extracurricular, which is by the flesh, by our forefathers. They were never doing those things.
And so that leaves open that area where, okay, if I'm not having intimacy with a person, I'll just have intimacy with technology. And the whole time, now we're saying, well, do I really need a person? Because now I have technology. And do you think that that's a big issue
Oh, yes.
itself? You know, intimacy so deep with technology that now people really don't feel they need people. Do you think that's a big issue?
So absolutely, graphic material, sexually graphic material is one of the addiction. Actually, it's
Okay.
literally an addiction, and it can be classified as one of the leading causes of some of the depression. Some of the young men who go through life not feeling like they matter or
Yeah.
that they, and then what it also does is it gives you an unhealthy expectation of sex.
So when you say
Completely warped.
when you say unexpected, is it that those videos might show, you know, the sister hitting flips, swinging on the chandelier, she woke up like that. Y'all know how that is, like, cause you know, so men, we got these warped ideas, and you know,
Yes.
and the sisters have to tell us now, honey, I'm gonna be on it, but I'm gonna have to wear this bonnet. But that type of stuff makes us feel like she woke up like that. She, you know, all women are meant to be sexualized like that. And is that what you're speaking of, that you think really, you know, the expectation is not the right expectation, that
Oh, yes.
really that's not the fullness of who women are.
Oh yeah, it's a completely delusionary thought that this type of activity would be happening normally, and then what ends up happening is like I said, a wolf in sheep's clothing. It becomes more and more graphical. Mm-hmm. The debauchery increases. Mm-hmm. Violence could be involved. They go from it's just a crazy world, and we really need to, number one, get back to Christ, but also get back to a healthy expectation of what sex and intimacy looks like, and then you can start to heal.
So I know that anytime you're out in the world and you have a great big sexual appetite, like most young men and young ladies are, oftentimes you bring that idea to your marriage, and you think, you know, this is how it should be all the time. But you know, your spouse, they gotta go to work. Come on, they gotta cook. They gotta deal with their mama, their daddy, the children. You know, they have to deal with their jobs. And so I do agree with this idea that it's a lot of time it's unrealistic. But being single and not having those responsibilities and not having, you know, I know right now you don't have that one steady girlfriend right now, or else you haven't shared it with me because you don't want to hear my mouth. What's the struggle with all of those things you just talked about? What's the struggle for you personally to stay away from those things? Because I know that if you turn on your computer and you go to a social media site and you sign on and they know you're a man, that stuff is steadily being fed to your page. What's the struggle or the challenge for you personally right now to try to resist those things?
I can tell you the number one proven way to help you avoid and stay away from those things: idle hands. Get out there, be involved in the community, be involved with your church, be involved with your family. Staying home alone constantly and consistently can be the number one issue that you will face when it comes to those type of graphical materials.
So let me make sure that I fully understand. Is that a analytical idea, or have you experienced like that person where you said, oh, I need to keep myself busy, I need to keep myself, because with these idle hands, you know, and this idle mind, calling the wrong person. So Is that anecdotal, or is that something personally you've dealt with?
It's personal, but I trust the counsel that I have, and it was given to me, and it was passed down from him, from his pastor to him,
Absolutely.
to the next. So when you get good counsel,
Yeah.
and you have them showing you where health is, you gotta go right there and follow it. You gotta make sure that the people that you're following are have good fruit.
Yeah.
Their lives are results. I have rarely seen or even heard of people doing it all alone.
Yeah.
If you did it all alone, you're better than me.
Yeah.
You're better than
Me
most.
too. Absolutely.
And I know that the way I'm going to do it is by following suit, going to the joining a men's meeting, being a part of the men's ministry, going to these Wednesday events.
Right. Off script with
Off
Tony
script,
Cash.
exactly.
being one of the people that I interview.
Exactly.
Because I know your life personally.
Yes.
And I know that this single life is not something that you really want. You're not one of those persons who are just like, oh, I'm waving the banner and I want to be single. And so, talk to me about how that feels to have that desire to find that wife, find that helpmeet, and not yet have found her. What is that like for Jordan as he takes this journey? And what's your process? Like, is it online dating? Is it going to be, I'm going to find her in Home Depot? Is it going to be, I'm going to find her in the supermarket? What?
I would say the one thing you should always do is first pray about the things that you're doing, and then go to whatever means you feel comfortable going. I wouldn't necessarily go to any dating site. There are a whole lot of Christian dating sites that you can go to, but as far as me personally, I would say I would label it as God didn't want, and this is how I feel about it. God did not want Adam to be alone. So, and it's okay if you are. It's okay if you want that, but that's not what I wanted for my life.
So are you willing to go to the pop that red balloon? So that you go in there and the lady, and you willing to pop that? Because I know somebody. Y'all don't know this. I'm somebody, and I know somebody. So I can get you on that show now. That it won't be my fault if all of them pop that balloon, but I can get you on the show because I seen them sister pop the balloon because she said your hairline is not straight enough. I said, what? And he was an engineer, so I knew I didn't stand a chance. After 21 years, I didn't stand a chance anyway. But the man, hell, he was an engineer. I was sitting there thinking, I think he cute. But anyway, we do have a question from the audience and from Chris, and it says, we're told we're in this digital age, and if we don't get in it, then we're behind. Yet, the algorithms consistently prioritize chaos over character. If the media is addicted to feeding us negative imageries, how do we as believers stop being their product and start demanding a higher standard of digital integrity? Wow, I like that. I would say that's not for you. I'm the host. Calm down.
My
You're
apologies.
getting too excited. You're getting too excited. All right.
Woosa.
All right. So I would say sometimes you just have to pop off on it. I mean, really. But we are what? Off script. But I would say things like tonight. These are the things that we have to produce that says you don't control the digital airwaves. You don't control the social media algorithms. That we have content and we're demanding our space. How many of y'all here tonight agree with that? Like that's what Off Script with Tony Cash is about. It is placing a demand on the algorithms, on social media to say we have a voice and we're not asking to be heard. We're kicking the door in because we're going to be heard. And I think that's really, Chris, where it starts, where we start to develop our own ideas, our own shows, our own algorithms or whatever it is, so that we're not, beholden to the worldly ideas of what love, what relationships are, or anything of that nature. So that's what I would say.
Well said.
Yeah. Thank you. I like it. But here's the thing. I'm going to ask you one more question, and then we're going to close.
For me? Of course.
This is for
I
you.
don't.
You have permission to speak. Give us about 30 seconds. If you could speak to a young man now that's struggling with sexual addiction, struggling with the idea of, is he a man if he's not bedding multiple women, trying to live right for God? Give him about 30 seconds and share, how you think he could get over that.
I would tell you the number one thing that helped me get over that, or any man get over it, is getting a pastor in your life, getting a Tony Cash in your life, getting a Kevin in your life, men who know how to lead, who can help you and guide you in these areas, that can show you the fruits of their own labor, and then you can start on your path. Because the truth is, as a wise man once told me, if you could have stopped, you would have already done so. You would have already done so.
Wow. Well, Jordan, thank you so much for being a part of this amazing show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And I want to move to this moment of Tony Cash going off script as we close. Number one, I want to say to any young man that it's understandable in a world where lust, where sexual deviance is actually praised and celebrated. We're in a world where, you're judged by your mistakes. And so sometimes we tend to want to hide, and we tend to want to say, walk in shame. But I hope tonight that if you get anything out of this, you realize you're not just in a battle that's out of the blue. The world is intentionally trying to come at your mind and your spirit to cause you to desire all of these different sexual deviant acts. And the thing that I will say is that you're strong enough to overcome that. I think our guest Jordan said it best. Find the community, find the connection, find someone who believes in you, someone who won't judge you, someone who will walk through with you. And I believe if you'll do that, then whatever area of your sexual life that you're currently off script, I believe by doing that, you'll find yourself back on script. I've enjoyed this talk tonight, and I look forward to talking to you again on next week as we delve into greater and even more profound subject matters, because life is not, a pattern, or it's not measured by things that are just on rhythm, things that just happen the way they happen. No, sometimes life is truly off script, And that's why we're here tonight. So thank you so much for joining Tony Cash, Off Script with Tony Cash. It's been an amazing night.
We hope you enjoyed today's segment. Look at the bottom of your screen to connect with the Leadership Center. While you're there, please consider giving. Your support helps us continue real conversations, biblical truth, and real